Hello YouTube, NB998 here, and welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be talking about the closed and open beta for Diablo 4 that happened this past 2 weekends. I made a video back in 2022 talking about my worries for Diablo 4 once they showed it off at, I believe it was E3, and the video was pretty much just me expressing my concerns about the always online elements, and I can tell you after playing the open and closed beta, these concerns still exist, but are a lot lessened, and I'm going to try to explain what I mean in this video. So if you do end up liking the video, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already for more content in the future, and let's get into my thoughts on the Diablo 4 beta. So first off, I want to talk about the graphics, and my opinion has not changed on this. Back in the video in 2022, I talked about how much I thought the graphics looked amazing from what they showed in the trailer for it. And that has not changed. I think the world looks gorgeous, the spell effects and weather effects look very good, and overall it's a very good looking game, and all I can see is maybe future improvement when the full product releases. I did notice a few graphical errors here and there, but I expected that just to be something to do with the beta. Obviously the game is not finished yet, so I'm not really hung up on those concerns really. The gameplay and feel of the combat is very nice, actually. It feels a lot like Diablo 2, maybe a mixture of Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, now that I think about it a little bit more, but it feels very good nonetheless. Probably one of the best feeling ARPGs I've played in a very long time. To describe the gameplay, it's pretty much what you'd expect from a Diablo game or any other ARPG. Run around, you kill monsters, get loot, and rinse and repeat. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it feels very good, very fluid. I'm going to talk about my feelings on the open world aspect of the game, and I'm kind of mixed on this. I absolutely love the idea of being able to run around seamlessly and do, like, open world events, side quests, stuff like that. However, you guys might think this is weird to complain about, but I feel like there might be a little too much to do in the open world. There's tons of dungeons, events, side quests, and all of that. But every time you start a new character, you're going to have to do all this over again, which normally, for like Diablo 3, for example, was doable, especially if you skip all the cutscenes and whatnot. But in this game, it looks like there's going to be hundreds, if not thousands, of dungeons that you have to do every time you make a new character. So I don't know how this is going to translate in terms of like game time, unless you're expecting or you're planning to put thousands of hours, maybe tens of thousands of hours into this game when it releases. I was actually watching a YouTube video, it was Asmongold, funny enough, talking about his concern. He had the same concern as I do with the whole having to redo all the side stuff per character, and he was talking about how he felt like they forced that upon people, so they put more hours in the game and maybe start buying those cosmetic microtransactions to spice things up. I don't know if that's the plan or that was the intention, but either way, if you're planning on playing this for thousands of hours or hundreds of thousands of hours, this probably won't bother you at all. But for people who might want to move on to other things but still want to experience like all the story and all the character classes, this might be a very big time sink that people might not have time to do. Especially when, and maybe this is just a beta thing because it was in beta, but it seems like there's no randomly generated dungeons anymore. Like the layouts are pretty much the same for every character. While in previous Diablos there was like 2 or 3 variations, I want to say, of each dungeon, which added a little bit of variety. But like I said, they might add that into this game as well, and it might just be set for one map for the beta. Alright, so let's get into what my previous video on this was, and that was the always online requirement. Now, to be fair, Diablo 3 had this requirement as well. However, there was a solo mode where you can start up your own server, pause the game, and kind of play it like a single-player game. But in this one, there is no option to do so. It is pretty much a MMO-light experience now. In my time playing, I ran into a couple dozen players doing their own thing, doing world events, world bosses, and it was fine, but every time I would hit those points where I would run into another player, the game performance would drop off drastically because it's trying to connect to the internet. And it's weird because I have really good internet. I have 500 down, 100 up, and I felt a lot of performance dips whenever it would like load in other players, and I'm not sure if that's once again something they're working on or what, but it felt really jarring to be playing a smooth single player seeming experience, and then when the internet kicks in, it starts lagging. I start running into walls, running in place because of connection error. Yeah, it wasn't fun. And that's why this kind of takes us back to my previous video, why I'm worried about the always online mechanic. If you're trying to make it an MMO, or in this case an MMO light, you have to make sure it runs well. And when it comes to how the beta ran, when it got to those multiplayer segments, it did not run well. And that's what I'm worried about at the moment. And then on top of that, in the future, and this is going to be way in the future, I feel, when they have to shut down the servers because they moved on to, what, Diablo 5 or whatever they decide to do next, when they shut these servers down, the game ends. You can't play it anymore unless they decide to upload a update that gives us a way to make private servers once the game servers go offline so we can play the game as we see fit, solo or with friends. But that's probably years and years in the future, and we probably don't have to worry about that. I have the same worry for Diablo 3. I feel like once this game kicks off, they're going to cut development for Diablo 3, and we might not be able to play Diablo 3 anymore because they moved on. But anyway, those were my thoughts on the beta. Full game comes out in June, and I will be playing it. Still worried about a lot of things with it, especially the battle pass and how they do the cosmetics, but we'll see when it gets to that point, and you could come back to the channel and see my thoughts on that once it happens, because I'm pretty sure I'll be making a video on that exact topic. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, if you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.